Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Mem, Daf 40 of Masechta Yoma. Daf Mem, we continue kind of on that machlokas between Reb Nechemya and Reb Yehuda about the gorel, about doing the lot for the goats, since it is something that is done outside of the Kodesh HaKodashim. So there's machlokas between Reb Nechemya, who argues that any avoda that's done anywhere in the Heichal is ma'akev, you have to do it. Whereas Rabbi Yehuda says only things in the Kodesh HaKodashim you mamash have to do. Anything outside of the Kodesh HaKodashim, if you skip it, it's okay. And then we saw machlokas between Rabbi Yanai and Rabbi Yochanan, specifically about the lots. If you skip doing the lots, is that a problem or not? So we're going to kind of continue on that. Fine. Then we get into the order. That's interesting. The order of like the parachatas and the sa'ir, like what goes where. So we're gonna just sort of in passing have a look at that, and then discuss the vidui, the confessions of the Kohen Gadol that he does on the different sacrifices. We will discuss that shtickle as well. So kind of a lot of things on this stuff. Let's get started. Where are we? Who could tell me where we are? Meisvei. Okay, we're on Daf Lamed Amud Beis, 2 lines from the bottom. Meisvei, we have a kasha. Mitzvah lahagavim lo higril kosher. Okay, so we have a brisa that says that it's a mitzvah to do the lots. Now, there's kind of 2 parts of doing the lots. There's pulling the lots out of the box, right? You pull one that says lashem, one that says lazazel. You pull 2 lots out of the box, and then you put them on each of the 2 goats, respectively. Now, mitzvah lahagril, so there's a mitzvah to pull the lot out of the box. Vim lo higril kosher, but if you didn't pull it out of the box, right? And I guess you just said, all right, you're gonna be the chatas, and you're gonna be the lashem, you're gonna be the lazazel. That's okay too. Amart aliba de Rabbi Yehuda kule amalo plige de lo me'akva. Hamani Rabbi Yehuda. Okay. So remember, we have a machlokas between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Nechemya. Rabbi Nechemya says that any of the avodas of Yom Kippur that were done in the Azara, anywhere in the Azara, any of these avodas, they are me'akev, meaning you have to do them. And if you skip it, it's a problem. Rabbi Yehuda says that only the avodas that are done in the Kodesh HaKodashim are must. Any of the avodas that are done outside of the Kodesh HaKodashim, if you skip it, it's okay. Now, we had a different machlokas between Reb Yanai and Reb Yochanan specifically about the lots. That Reb Yanai says if you skip the lots, if the Kohen Gadol does not do the lots for the goats, it's a problem. Reb Yochanan says it's okay. Now, at the end of the day yesterday, we showed how we could fit in the machlokas between Reb Yanai and Reb Yochanan and explain that maybe they're arguing about Reb Yehuda's opinion, about, that Reb Yehuda says that only the avodas in the Kodesh HaKodashim you have to do, but the avodas outside of the Kodesh HaKodashim, if you skip it, it's okay. And maybe Rabbi Yanai is saying, yeah, but because it says Asher, right? It says what is it supposed to say? Asher Allah twice. So therefore, maybe it's saying, but in this specific case of the lots, you have to do it even according to Rabbi Yehuda. Whereas Rabbi Yochanan says, no, you don't. Or maybe the machlokas between Rabbi Yanai and Rabbi Yochanan is about Rabbi Nechemya, that you could maybe argue that Rabbi Yochanan would say that the lots are not actually technically speaking in avoda, and therefore even though Rabbi Nechemya says that any avoda in the Azara you have to do, but maybe the lots aren't necessarily considered an actual avoda. So maybe you don't have to do it according to Rabbi Nechemya. So so according to the way to learn it, to say that according to Rabbi Yehuda, who says that any avodas that are outside of the Kodesh HaKodashim, if you skip it, it's okay. And that the machlokas between Reb Yanai and Reb Yochanan is specifically according to Reb Nechemya, who says that any avoda anywhere in the Azara must be done. And Rabbi Yochanan says, yes, but the lots are not technically speaking an avoda. But both Rabbi Yanai and Rabbi Yochanan agree that according to Rabbi Yehuda, if you skip doing the lots, it's okay. Well, then this brisa that says that it's a mitzvah to do the lots, but if you skip it, it's okay. It's Rabbi Yehuda. Easy. Hamani Rabbi Yehuda Ela lachlishna da amart plige. But according to the Mandama who says that actually, according to Rabbi Nechemya, everyone agrees, both Rabbi Yanai and Rabbi Yochanan agree that according to Rabbi Nechemya, you have to do the lots. The machlokas is regarding Rabbi Yehuda, that even though Rabbi Yehuda says that any avodah is outside of the Kodesh HaKodashim, if you skip it, it's okay. Nonetheless, Rabbi Yanai would argue that since it says Asher Allah regarding the lots, it says Asher Allah twice. So that's saying that the lots are special. And even Rabbi Yehuda would say that you have to do it. Well, if that's the case, according to Rabbi Yanai, that both according to Rabbi Yehuda and according to Rabbi Nechemya, you have to do the lots, well then who's the author of this brisa that says that sure, it's a mitzvah to do the lots, but if you skip it, it's okay? According to who is that? Both Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Nechemya, apparently, according to Rabbi Yanai, say that you have to do the lots. You hear the kasha? Good. So, lachlishna da amar plige. So, according to the Manda Amar, who says that Rabbi Yanai and Rabbi Yochanan argue even according to Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Yanai says that even according to Rabbi Yehuda, you would have to do the lots. So, b'shlam the Manda Amar lo ma'akva. So, I understand Rabbi Yochanan's opinion. Hamani Rabbi Yehuda. So, I understand Rabbi Yochanan's opinion in this context. Right? Remember, the machlok is right that according to Rabbi Yehuda, any avoda outside of the Kodesh HaKodashim, if you skip it, it's okay. And Rabbi Yochanan says that would be Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. But Rabbi Yanai says, according to Rabbi Yehuda, though, you would still have to do the lots. Well then, but according to Rabbi Yanai, who says that even according to Rabbi Yehuda, you have to do the lots, Hamani, who is the author of this brisa that says that if you skip the lots, it's okay? Tni mitzvah le'aniach. So the Gemara says, well, if you're Rabbi Yanai, you're going to suggest that instead of saying that it's a mitzvah to draw the lots out of the box, and if you skip that, it's okay. No, Rabbi Yanai would say if you skip that, it's no good. It's a problem. You have to do the lots. Rather, teach what the brisa is saying, that you should put the lots on the animal. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, there's two parts. There's pulling the lots out of the box, and then there's placing each of the lots on each of the animals. So we're saying what you should do. So Rabbi Yanai is going to say you have to pull the lots out of the box. And what you should then do is put the lots on each of the two goats respectively. If you didn't do that, then it's kosher. But Rabbi Yanai would argue that according to everybody, you have to pull the lots out of the box. Tashma, coming here. Mitzvah lahagril l'svados. It's a mitzvah to pull the lots out of the box, as well as to do the vidui, right? For the Kohen Gadol to do his confession of Ana Hashem, Chatasi, Avitzi, Poshati, etc. Lo higru v'lo isvada kosher. But, says the Tanakama of this brisa, if he skipped doing the lots, or if he skipped doing the confession, it's okay. And if you're going to say, like we said a minute ago, that when it says if you skip doing the lots, it's okay, it means if you skip putting the lots on the goat, it's okay. The hanocha, but ema seifa. If we go weiter in the brisa, it says, Reb Shimon Omer, lo higril kosher, lo svada pasul. That if he skipped the lots, it's okay. If he skipped the confession, it's not okay. It's pasul. So my lo higru. So when Reb Shimon says if you skip doing the lots, it's okay, is that what it really means? That if, according to Reb Shimon, if you skip doing the lots, it's okay? Ilema lo iniach. So if you're going to say that what it means is like we said a few minutes ago, lo hiniach. So what Reb Shimon is saying is that you have to pull the lots out of the box. But, which is like what we were saying before, but if you skip putting the lot on the animal, so then it's kosher. So this, of course, would mean that according to Reb Shimon, you have to pull the lot out of the box. What you do not have to do is put it on the animal. You could skip putting it on the animal, but you have to put the lot on the box. I just said put the lot on the box. I meant the lot on the... No, you have to pull the lot out of the box. If you skip putting it on the goat, that's okay. But 1 second. We learn in a brisa, that if one of the goats dies, maybe chavero shelo ba'agrala, so you could bring a replacement, and you don't have to do a new lottery. Divrei Reb Shimon. That's Reb Shimon's opinion. So we see that according to Reb Shimon, you can skip doing that lot. You can skip pulling the lot out of the box. So we see that according to Reb Shimon, you do not need to pull the lot out of the box. And therefore, in the brisa, when it says that according to Reb Shimon, what did Reb Shimon say? Lo higril kosher, that if you skip pulling the lot out of the box, it's kosher. That actually means if you skip pulling it out of the box. Forget about le'aniach. It doesn't mean putting it down on the goat. No, it's talking about Reb Shimon's opinion is that if you skip pulling the lot out of the box, it's okay. And therefore, when it says lo higril kosher, it literally means lo higril. If you skip pulling the lot out of the box, it's okay. And if that's the case, then what's the implication for the Tanakama? That when the Tanakama says mitzvah lahagril l'svados lo higril lo svado kosher, that if you skip pulling the lot out of the box, it's okay. So we wanted to say it's talking about the hanocha, but according to Reb Shimon, it seems to be talking about the hagrala. No, Cheva, what do you think? What do you think? I think it's still complicated, right? So the Gemara answers that's exactly correct, meaning that according to Reb Shimon, it's talking about pulling the lot out of the box. So according to Reb Shimon, he says, if you skip pulling the lot out of the box, it's kosher. Okay? So what's the implication for the Tanakama when he says that if you skip hagrala, it's kosher? Is that talking about hagrala? Is that talking about anocha? So Reb Shimon lo yado my ka'amir rabbanan. Reb Shimon says, look, I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. What I'm talking about is that if you skip pulling the lot out of the box, it's okay. Now, this is what he's saying to the rabbis. Hagrala mamish karmi. So if when you say Tanakama, hagrala, you mean pulling the lot out of the box, and you're saying if you skip pulling the lot out of the box, if the Kohen Gadol skips pulling the lot out of the box, it's kosher. Well, I agree with you on that. Pligana alaychu bechada, I only argue with you guys regarding one thing, and that would be that according to the Tanakama, if you skip the vidui, if the Kohen Gadol skips doing the confession, it's okay. Whereas according to Reb Shimon, if the Kohen Gadol skips doing the confession, it's a problem. So Reb Shimon says, look, Tanakama, I don't know what you're talking about, so therefore I'll just mention all the scenarios. If you're saying that if the Kohen Gadol skips pulling the lot out of the box, it's okay, well then I agree with you regarding that, but we're going to disagree regarding confession. You say if he skips the confession, it's okay. I say if he skips the confession, it's not okay. But, says Reb Shimon, if when you say hagrala, you're not referring to pulling the lot out of the box, you're referring to placing the lot on the animal, but you have to pull the lot out of the box, well in that case, Pligana alaychu b'tarte, I argue upon you regarding two things. One, of course, regarding confession. You, Tanakama, say it's okay if he skips confession. I say it's not okay. And I also argue with you with regard to the fact that you, Tanakama, say that if the Kohen Gadol skips pulling the lot out of the box, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Tanakama, you're saying it's not okay. He has to pull it out of the box. I say if he skips pulling it out of the box, it's taka okay. Okay. Tashma, come in here. Par ma'akev is asoyer, that the cow will prevent the goat. V'soyer in ma'akev is apar, and the goat will not prevent the cow. Alright. V'matanos shebifnim, with regard to the inner placings of the blood. So we're saying that the par is ma'akev v'sar, meaning if you do one of the avodas of the goat out of order, in that you were supposed to first do the avoda of the cow, but you switched it around. You first did the avoda of the goat. That's a problem. However, if there was an avoda of the goat that you were supposed to do, but you first did an avoda of the cow, that would be okay. Alright. So bishlam par ma'akev is hasoir. Because I think it's like this. So b'matano shebifnim. So when it comes to the matano shebifnim, right? The blood that was sprinkled before the aron, before the kaporis of the aron. So bishlama par ma'akev is hasoir. So I understand what it means that if you tried to sprinkle the blood of the Sa'ir La Hashem before the Kapores of the Aron, and you tried to do the goat blood before you did the cow blood, well then, the Aktme L'Sa'ir Mikame Par Lo Avad V'Lo Klum. That if you did the goat blood before you did the cow blood, that's not going to work. Elasair in ma'akev esapar ma'niu. But when we say that when you first need to do the blood of the goat, but you did the blood of the cow instead, what is that talking about? Ilema di aktim matanos de par behechol mikame matanos de sa'ir bifnim. So if it's saying that you did the blood of the cow first in the heichol before you did the blood of the goat inside the Kodesh HaKodashim, chukah ksivbu, says chukah. One second. We have to take a break for a second and explain the order of things happening. So the way that the things happen is like this. The first thing that the Kohen Gadol does is he goes over to his cow and he does the first confession that he does on the cow, which is for himself. He then goes over to the goats and he draws the lots for the goats and does that whole thing. He then goes back to his cow and he does a confession for the second time on the cow. He then slaughters the cow. He then takes the incense into the Kodesh HaKodashim and he does the incense. He then takes the blood of the cow that he just slaughtered and brings that into the Kodesh HaKodashim, and unless he already brought it into the Kodesh HaKodashim, but he sprinkles the blood of the cow in the Kodesh HaKodashim before the Aron, before the Kaporis of the Aron in the Kodesh HaKodashim. He then goes out and slaughters the goat, and then he brings the blood of the goat into the Kodesh HaKodashim and sprinkles that in front of the Kaporis. Okay? So far, what he's done regarding the blood is that he first sprinkled the blood of the cow before the Kaporis, and then he sprinkled the blood of the goat before the Kaporis. Then he goes out to the Heichel, and he sprinkles the blood of the cow in front of the paroches, the separator between the Kodesh and the Kodesh HaKodashim, and then he sprinkles the blood of the goat in front of the paroches. Then he mixes together the blood of the cow and the blood of the goat, and he puts that on the incense altar, on the Mizbeach HaPnimi. So, again, in terms of the blood of the cow, and the goat, so first he puts the blood of the cow and he sprinkles that in front of the Kaporis in the Kodesh HaKodashim. Then he sprinkles the blood of the goat in front of the Kaporis in the Kodesh HaKodashim. Then he sprinkles the blood of the cow in front of the Parochis and the Heichal. Then he sprinkles the blood of the goat in front of the Parochis and the Heichal. Then he mixes them together and applies them to the Mizbeach HaPnimi. Okay. Now that we've established that, let's go back into the Gemara. So let's read that again. So when it comes to the inner blood sprinkling, i.e. the blood that the Kohen Gadol sprinkles in front of the Kaporis, the covering of the Aron, So bishlama par ma'akev v'sasoyer. So I understand what it means is that you first have to do the blood of the cow first, and if you did the blood of the goat before the blood of the cow in the Kodesh HaKodashim, so the aktimei l'soyer mikame par lo avid v'lo klum, it doesn't work at all. And l'soyer in ma'akev v'sapar maniu. When we say that the goat doesn't mess up the cow, meaning if you were supposed to do the goat first, but you did the cow first instead, it's okay. So, ilema di akti matonus de par behecho mikame matonus de soyer bifnim. If you're going to say, well, what it means is that, well, let's say what he was supposed to do was he was supposed to first apply the blood of the cow inside the Kodesh HaKodashim before the Kaporos, and then he was supposed to do the blood of the goat, and then he was supposed to do the blood of the cow in the Heichel before the Paroches. But he didn't do that. He did the blood of the cow in the Kodesh HaKodashim, but then he went straight to doing the blood of the cow before the Paroches, and he skipped doing the blood of the goat in front of the Kaporos in the Kodesh HaKodashim. Well, that would not be okay. I mean, if he did the blood of the cow in the Heichel in front of the Paroches before doing the blood of the goat before the Kaporos in the Kodesh HaKodashim, that's a problem, because Chuka Ksivu, it says Chuka, and Chuka means you have to do it just like that. You have to do it in that way, and you can't do it out of order. Elalav, so rather, what must it be? That there was something about a goat that he was supposed to do first, but he did of the cow first, and we say it's okay. Rather, what it must be is that he sprinkled the blood of the cow in the Kodesh HaKodashim in front of the Kapores before he did the lots. Because remember, he first did a vidui, a confession on his cow, and he hasn't slaughtered it yet. And then he does the lots, and then he does the confession a second time, and then he slaughters the cow. And then he does the incense, and then he sprinkles the blood in the Kodesh HaKodashim in front of the Kapores. But let's say he forgot, or for whatever reason he skipped doing the lots. So he was supposed to first do the lots, which is a goat avoda, but he didn't do it. He first did the blood of the cow inside the Kodesh HaKodashim before the goats, and we're saying it's okay. And if he does it out of order, and we're saying that that's okay, ikra agrala nami la ma'akva, we want to argue that just like if he does the lots out of order, it's okay. So guess what? Also, if he just neglects completely to do the lots, it's also okay. Wow. So what we seem to have here, what we want to argue that we have over here, is a brisa that's saying that you can skip doing the hagrala. You can skip pulling the lots out of the box. In which case, who's the author? Who's the author that would say that you can skip pulling the lots out of the box? Okay, so skip the next few lines. That's the Gra takes them out. 4 lines from the bottom of the page. Elohamani Rib Shimoni. Well, the brisa must be Rib Shimon. Okay, easy enough. Damar Agrala lo ma'akva. That Rib Shimon says that if you skip doing the lots, if you skip pulling the lots out of the box, it's okay. So we could just say that this brisa that says that if you skip doing the lots, it's okay. So that's Rib Shimon. Or if you want, I'll say La'olam Rabbi Yehuda, or you could say that it's Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, and if you're Rabbi Yana and you say that even according to Rabbi Yehuda, you have to do the lots, that even though maybe the order, you could do it out of order, that if you did the blood of the cow inside the Kodesh HaKodashim first, and you only got back to the lots later, that's okay. However, Rabbi Yana would argue that you still have to do the lots, so you can't just skip the lots. Alright, sounds good to me. Now, v'azdu l'taimayu, going back to the machlokas between the Tanna Kama and Reb Shimon regarding confession. The Tanna Kama says that if the Kohen Gadol skips doing the confession, it's okay. And Reb Shimon says if the Kohen Gadol skips doing the confession on the goat, it's not okay. So they're according to their respective reasons. The Tanyas, we learn in a brisa Yoma Chai Lifnei Hashem L'chaper Olav. That it says regarding the Sayir La'azazel, the goat that we drop off a cliff, it says Yamor Chai Lifnei Hashem, it should stand alive before God, L'chaper Olav, to atone for it. Ad Masa Yeh Zakuk La'amor Chai, until what point does this goat need to remain standing alive? Ad Shasma Indamo Shechavero Divrei Yehuda, only until the blood of the Sa'ir Lashem has been done whatever you had to do with it. But once all the blood of the Sa'ir Lashem has been taken care of, if the Sa'ir Lazazel dies, you don't need a replacement. Even though you didn't yet do the confession on it. That's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Reb Shimon Omer says, Reb Shimon Achas Vidu Dvarim, no, he would first have to do the confession. So we see that the machlokas between Reb Yehuda and Reb Shimon is that Reb Yehuda says that the confession is not ma'akev. If you skip doing the confession, it's okay. If the Kohen Gadol skips doing the confession, it's okay. Reb Shimon says that no, the Kohen Gadol has to do the confession, and if he skips it, it's not okay. And the assumption seems to be that the Tanakama earlier was Reb Yehuda. What's the machlokas between Reb Yehuda and Reb Shimon here? That Reb Yehuda says if the Kohen Gadol skips the vidoy, it's okay, and Reb Shimon says if he skips it, it's not okay. Kedetanya, as we learn in the Brisa, lechaper, that it says by the Sa'ir HaMishtaleach, the goat that's dropped off a cliff, lechaper, to atone, b'chapar is domim akosav medaber. It's talking about an atonement of blood. Similarly, it says that it says that after he's done working with the blood of the Sa'ir Lashem, the goat to God, that he will complete from atoning the Kodesh, the holies, and just like over there, we're talking about the blood, right? Because by the Sa'ir Lashem, the kapara comes through the blood. There's no vidui. So here also by the Sa'ir HaMishtalech, it's kaparas dam, not necessarily kaparas vidui. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, that's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Rabbi Shimon Omer says, Rabbi Shimon l'chaper olav, that when it says to atone, bechaparas dvarim akosav medaber, it's talking about vidui because it says l'chaper olav, to have the kapara on it. Meaning, what's the kapara that you do on it? What's the kapara that you do on the goat that you drop off the cliff? It's the vidui. Right? That's the important part. It's the confession. So therefore it's kaparas tvarim, and you have to do the vidui, and that is going to be Reb Shimon's opinion. Tashma Komenir, Shalu Tamidav is Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva's students asked him, what if when the Kohen Gadol is drawing the lots, so he draws the lot that says Lashem in his left hand, can he do a switcheroo l'maisa? Can he switch the lot from the left hand to the right hand? Because after all, we said that it's better, right? It's better karma to get the lot that says Lashem in your right hand. So what if you got it in your left hand? Can you switch them? It's a good solution. Rabbi Akiva says, don't go there. Don't give any space for the tzdukim to come up with theories to say that we're not so serious. I mean, the Gemara doesn't say this, but like we already know that there were some serious concerns regarding the tzdukim when it came to Yom Kippur. They would do the incense differently, right? We were always concerned that maybe, right? We said that it's okay to make the Kohen Gadol run around from mikvah to, from the mikvah to wherever, because just in case he's a tzduki, he'll get tired out and he'll say, I don't need this. And we're concerned about tzdukim when it comes to Yom Kippur. So therefore, Rabbi Akiva says, don't even go there. We don't want any room for nudniks to say that we're not so serious. Just, if it comes up in the left hand, just leave it. Now the reason why Rabbi Akiva said don't do it is only because we don't want nudniks to get the wrong idea. But me'ikar adin, there wouldn't be anything wrong with that. Meaning, even after you pull the lot, you can still do a switcheroo. Me'ikar adin. If not for the tzdukim. But didn't we say, or at least, right, didn't Rabbi Yanai say that you have to do the agrala, that the agrala is important? And if you skip the agrala, it's a problem. But if that's the case, that agrala is an integral part of the lot, well then, once he picks the lot, meaning this isn't like an insignificant thing. If he picks the lot in his left hand, then that means that the left goat is the Sayer Lashem. If he pulls, if according to Rabbi Yanai, you have to do the lot. It's an important part of the avoda, and therefore, pulling the lot out is not just symbolic, but it has significance. And if he pulls out the lot that says Lashem in his left hand, that means that the left goat is the Sayer Lashem. You can't just switch it. Amar Rava, so Rava answers, Hachia Kamre, this is what the Havamina is. That Allah Agoro b'smo ma'u she'achziru lo v'lisiru liyamin. Amar lo matid numakum and l'rados. No, what they were asking him is, meaning you could say, even according to Rabbi Yanai, that you have to do the lots, and it's an important part of the avoda. And therefore, when he pulls the lot with his left hand that says Lashem, so yes, it means that the goat to his left is the goat Lashem. And you can't switch it. But the question is, maybe you can move the lot with the goat to the right. So kind of like that, you kind of artificially make it be the one on the right. But still, the goat that you're gonna offer Lashem is the goat that got the lot Lashem with your left hand originally. But can you just move everything over to the right? And Rabbi Kiva says, just don't go there because the tzedukim can maybe give us a headache. Tashma coming here. Ilu nemar esa soir asher olav hayisi omer yanichenu olav. That if the pasuk just said esa soir asher olav, the goat that it is upon it, meaning what the pasuk says is esa soir asher Allah olav. But if it dropped the word Allah, if it just said esa soir asher olav, the goat that it is upon hayisi omer, I would say yanichenu olav, that you have to put the lot on the goat. Tamlomer Allah, therefore the pasuk says Allah, it adds that word, which means kevin sha'Allah shuven utzarich, that once you pull out the lot from the box, you're done. Lamai, what do you mean? Like, what does this mean? That once you pull the lot out of the box, you're done. Ilema le mitzvah, if it means that, well, once you pull the lot out of the box, you did a mitzvah. Kilu, it's not ma'akev. If you didn't do it, it's okay. If you skipped it, it's okay. But once you pulled it out, you did the mitzvah. Which implies, though, that, meaning, pulling the lot out of the box, you should do it, but if you skip it, it's okay. Implying that putting the lot on the goat is like not even a thing at all. Elalav la'akev. So rather what it must mean is that, what it means is that once you've done the hagrala, once you've pulled the lot, you're yotze, and that, it's like if you didn't do it, it would be ma'akev, implying what? Shmamina, hagrala ma'akva, nochelo ma'akva. That pulling, that you have to, what it means that you have to pull the lot out of the box, but if you, and if you don't, it's a problem. But when it comes to the hanacha, putting it on the goat, you should do it, but if you skip it, it's okay. On my Rava says it's not necessarily a proof. Achi Kamar, you can argue that this is what it's saying. Ilu nema asher olav, if it would say asher olav without the word Allah, hayisi omer, I would say yanichenu olav ad shas shchita. That, no, what it means is that I would think that it means that you have to leave the lot on the goat until the time that it's slaughtered. Tamulom asher Allah, kemen sha'Allah shuvenu tzarich. So it means that no, that once you pull it out, once you pull it up, you pull it out of the box, you don't need to, do anything more, meaning that you don't necessarily have to leave it there until the shechita is there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, if you didn't do it, so then it's ma'akev and it's a big problem. Alright, sounds good to me. We're going to stop over there. That was a shtickle complex stuff, I think. Let us do a review. What did we talk about? So, right. There were like different layers to this daf. So there was the machlokas between Rabbi Nechemia and Rabbi Yehuda there. Rabbi Nechemia says that any of the avodas of Yom Kippur that are done anywhere in the Hazara, you have to do them, and if you don't do them, it's a problem. That's Rabbi Nechemia's opinion. Rabbi Yehuda says only the stuff that you have to do in the Kodesh HaKodashim, you have to do. But anything outside of the Kodesh HaKodashim, if you skip it, it's okay. Now, there's another machlokas between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yanai, specifically when it comes to Hagrala, to pulling the lot, to doing the lots for the goats. Rabbi Yanai says you have to do the lots. If you skip it, it's a problem. Rabbi Yochanan says if you skip it, it's okay. Fine. So now, so we're basically trying to figure out, because we have these brises that we're basically trying to prove one way or another for most of the daf, right? So we have different brises which say that, like, if you do the agrala, so then it's you should do it, but if you didn't do it, it's not so if you skip it, it's okay. We saw the opinion of Reb Shimon, who says that if you skip the agrala, it's taka okay. We saw with regard to vidui, with regard to the confession of the Kohen Gadol that he does on the goat. So the Tanakama who we determined was Rabbi Yehuda says that if you skip doing the vidui on the goat, if the Kohen Gadol skips doing the vidui on the goat, it's okay. Reb Shimon says if the Kohen Gadol skips doing the vidui on the goat, it's not okay. Along the way, we also learned the order of the avodas in the Beis Hamikdash, right, that the Kohen Gadol does. And that is, he takes the cow and he first does the first confession on the cow. He then draws the lots for the goats. He then does a second confession on the cow and then slaughters the cow. He then does the incense inside of the Kodesh HaKodashim, and then he takes the blood from the cow that he slaughtered and he sprinkles them in the Kodesh HaKodashim before the Aron. He then slaughters the Sa'ir LaHashem and brings the blood inside the Kodesh HaKodashim and sprinkles that blood in front of the Aron. He then takes the blood of the cow and sprinkles it in front of the Paroches and the Heichal. He then takes the blood of the goat, LaHashem, the Sa'ir LaHashem, and sprinkles its blood in front of the Paroches and the Heichal, mixes together the blood and puts them on the Mizbeach HaPnimi, the Mizbeach HaKtoris. That's kind of all that stuff. Anyways, a lot of stuff like that on Daf Mem of Masechta Yoma. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy your day. Cheers.